understand more in depth about ways you can use nature to just save nature itself. My spare time, I like to draw and I like to animate some things because I like the way they animate. And I like to think a bit more about the course that you guys had provided. I like to think sometimes, and sometimes I think of ideas, and then sometimes I look for advantages and disadvantages, and then I research sometimes about how countries are like using some different kinds of ideas to make like nature just grow out more. So my father, he just introduced me to the course because he knew that I was like really interested in the course because I always talk about how nature's like just declining over the world and the pollution is just increasing. So one day my father, he heard out in an app called Clubhouse where Mr. Murali Thamurakudi was talking, and he mentioned a course. So my dad signed me up for it in edX, and I started watching it, and then it was really interesting. So I told my dad, okay, I'll continue with the course. And so I did it for the month. And after that, I've been in deep thought because in schools, they just tell us the basic things like it's not good to cut trees. It's not good to throw your plastic into the ocean and the sea. But I really didn't understand why they said it. I learned many different ways that you can like so for example the landslide kind of things. I'm really interested in that because in the course, they mentioned that when planting strong rooted trees, the roots can just stay firmly and the land will, like, there won't be any soil erosion much. So the landslides won't occur. At one point, I thought the course was a little difficult because of the language they used, because in the language, it was a little hard for me to understand, or people who are younger than me, they might also not understand some of the words used. So sometimes I just had to pause, go and Google it up, and sometimes I just get the wrong meanings. So I either asked my mom or checked in the dictionary, which took me a long time to do so. Content-wise, it was all okay. It was really good. And I liked all the ways they presented it. And yes, it was good. The key message is that I think it's because I think about it's like more countries should really use the nature-based solutions, even though it's a little expensive. It might be a little expensive, but even though it's that, I think it's key to use it around many different places. Because in this course, they really give us a lot of depth of information about what's happening around the world, and people can actually realize what they're doing. And if they're one of the people who are doing the wrong things, they can also really correct themselves and also try to follow the way they're doing it. So that's one thing I would recommend the course. And yeah, that's all. I tell them about the course and they're like, okay, that's cool. And then they say, we'll also try to do it. And then they give me more information because they also research sometimes and they watch different kind of videos and then they tell me about it. And then I just try to add it to my ideas, like, so I can help the nature. The course changed my perspective on nature because in some ways, because before I used to think that nature just kept growing anytime, anywhere, it just wouldn't stop. But as the course went on, I realized that we are just demolishing because nature can grow anywhere, and we're just demolishing the areas where it can grow. So that's one thing I understood. The first thing they should know is that the wastage they're using. I mean, because I learned from the recycling from Germany and in Singapore. There was many things there. So in Germany, they recycle the waste. So I think they really, in the different places, I really think the people should know that it's good not to like use so much and waste a lot, because if you're using them, at least use them many times. So it will at least it'll become worth it, because if you're using it. I wish like it was like before, when it was before all technology was invented. Before it was like peace and calm. Nature was like a friend with human, and now it's becoming destroyed. It's like a bond. It's like being cut off, because humans are literally just using nature for themselves and really do not care to put them back so they can use them another time, because that's one thought I really thought about many times. And this was one main thing, one key point that I just keep thinking about. I'm interested in working in that field because I feel like that course has propelled me forward into helping nature a bit in a higher step. Sometimes I just think that if you don't have nature, you don't have anything, because if you want to use electricity, you need water, and if you want to use the solar energy or anything, you need sun, and if you need like anything you're using right now, we really need nature. So you should really protect nature so we can actually have. Like an idea of mine, like a way we can use some materials to just help people during the floods. So I know this might be a little weird or might be a little silly, but I think it makes sense to me. So it's like this pit idea. So we dig tiny pits around, and it's like connected to the oceans. So then when the flood comes, the water can flow through the pipes, and the people might not be aware of the pits. So it's like we can put the drainage holes, and then we can put the some sort of a rope tied across with some sort of flashy material on top or a light bulb, so that many people can see and they will be aware not to step in that area. And many people, because when it's flood times, the water can rise up really high or can rise up really low. And I've seen this movie where this person stepped inside a hole inside a road, and she just went through because of the flood. And then I thought about that for a while, and then even though it might be a little dangerous, I thought it might work.